Happy Fire Alarm Friday, everyone, and welcome to System Test 3. Today we're going to be exploring a multi-tone alarm, and we're going to go through most of the tones and some interesting coding options to go along with them here. So without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and jump into the system test so that way I don't waste too much of your time rambling. The panel is all still the same, the Firelight MS5ED3, and so for the first device here, I've got a Siemens HMS-D. This was formerly an addressable pull station, however I've converted it to conventional, so I've got that there. It's not one of the MSI series, it's the HMS series. So you have that there, and it looks very similar to a Firelight BG10. This is actually a Notifier BGX101L, I believe, or NBGX101L, sorry. Both of these devices came out of a lot of 4 pull stations that were 4 parts, and so what I'm doing is I'm working on restoring those, and this one here right out of the box didn't have any issues other than removing the addressable module. This notifier pull station, one of the pins was missing that holds the hinge on, and then I still need to remove the addressable module off the back, but that'll be something that'll work on later on in the future for another system test. Up here, the alarm we're going to be using today is the Gentex Commander 3. This is the 24-volt model that I unboxed a couple weeks ago. We'll be going through some of the tones on it there, as well as some interesting coding options that we'll place on those tones. So I've got some ideas there that should be pretty fun. And then our strobe, which it's kind of hard to see in here, is going to be set to 110 candela, just because I really like the bright strobe, and I have a panel that can power it. Wheelock MIZ, as usual, is not going to be doing anything. However, I should probably give it a chance to shine here in a future system test. Hopefully, maybe system test 4, it'll get a chance to run. So we'll have that in another video, but again, it's just looking pretty. So right now, I currently have it set on continuous mechanical horn. However, the panel's going to code it to code 3, so it'll sound like code 3 horn. And what's interesting here is, on the Commander series, the way to adjust the tones, if you haven't seen one before, is these little dip switches down here at the bottom. Let me see if I can get a good zoom on that here. I've got a cover plate here. There we go. So we've got these little dip switches here, and the switches 3 through 5 adjust the tones. 1 and 2 are set for independent horn and strobe operation, and 6 is for volume control. So everything we're doing today is going to be on low volume. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started and pull the pull station. Again, this is code 3 mechanical horn. Will look pretty. Alright, and that is enough of that there. I'm trying out some more manual modes here on this camera. I'm working on adjusting the ISO throughout this to see if I can get maybe some better lighting situations, because the auto mode was making everything pretty bright. So I'd rather go ahead and do this with manual. So got the alarm silence there, and of course I love my audible silence, so we're still going to be doing that there. Okay, so this device is reset with a hex key, so I have my hex wrench with me. It's recognizing the fire logo as a face for some reason. That's kind of funny. There. As you can see, this is indeed an HMS-D, so not the MSI series. And you can see the old device address. Yeah, the only thing bad about this station was really that it just has some road wear to it, but honestly, it's in pretty good condition, all things considered. And I think what I'll do here is I'll just keep that hanging out there for a little bit while we adjust tones and play around with things. Got that. Let's go ahead and get adjusted here, and we'll give the system a reset there. There we go. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do for the remainder of this test is I'm going to set the camera up on a tripod. That way you can just focus on the alarm, because the pull station won't be all that interesting for the rest of the video. I might show it on the last run, but as we go through tones, I think it'll probably be best that I go ahead and leave the camera on top of a tripod and just focus on the alarm for you. So let me go ahead and get that set up, and I will be right back. I figured you guys might find this kind of interesting. I'm recording this portion here on my phone, but this is kind of a behind-the-scenes look at how I'm producing this system test. So the camera I use is a Nikon D5200, and I'm just running the kit lens here, and I've got a Rode VideoMic Go, which is actually pointed backwards, so that way it's not getting blasted by the alarms, and I can talk to you, and you're able to hear me a little bit better, because with the shotgun mic, it's only going to really record from the front, so this makes it a little bit easier there. And then I've got it on my giant Kayer or Kyer, however it's pronounced, tripod with the fluid head and everything. So it's a big, heavy-duty tripod. And yeah, so this is how I'm doing it behind the scenes. Just figured you guys might be interested in seeing that. And of course, the pull station's down there waiting to go. Okay, so the next tone we're going to do is going to be the 2400 Hertz tone. However, on this one, I'm going to be having the panel coding it to California code. It's something that we've never done before, and it's honestly not one of my favorite coding options, but for the purposes of this test, it'll be pretty cool to demonstrate that here, so hopefully this horn will take it just fine. So let's go ahead and give this station a pull. Well, maybe. Or not. This is awkward. I'm a little bit confused here. Let me see what I can figure out why this isn't working right. Alright, so I'm shooting behind the scenes again here. I got the camera off, and for some reason, the horn didn't go off at all, so I gotta figure that out. And then additionally, what's really weird here is that the panel will not allow me to silence. So I've reset the pull station, and I'm going to have to go into programming mode and see why that is, because there's no reason for that. Let's go ahead, and I won't show you the programming code here. Let's see, NAC 2. Oh, I'm dumb. I disabled it. So, yeah, this is more behind-the-scenes footage. The videos are not all perfect. Alright, we're back on the big camera. Let's go ahead and give California code on 2400 Hertz another try here. See if maybe this time the pull station and the panel will work correctly. So yeah, it's got an interesting little shift there. Alright, pull station's reset. Okay, let's move on to the next tone here. Okay, so hopefully this next tone is going to be a little bit more pleasant. We're going to be using the continuous chime, which will chime about once per second, if I do recall correctly. So I've got this set up on continuous, the panel's on continuous, so it's just really going to continually ding once per second. And hopefully this will be a little more pleasant than the 2400 Hertz. Maybe. Man, this video is just going to be full of fails, isn't it? Alright, so we are once again back behind the scenes. As you can see, the pull station's pulled, and this is not running. So, yeah, I'm kind of concerned maybe this was truly 4 parts. Yeah, the handle's down all the way. I guess let's Open it up and see what's popping. Watch, this is going to go off as soon as I get this open. Yeah. Well, this isn't good. Okay, so I've reset the system, and as you can hear, it's in trouble. I'm going to try this again and see if maybe something with the zone hadn't initialized. Maybe this pull station really is just a piece of crap. No, it sounds like it was the panel. It didn't initialize the zone after programming reset. Well, cool. Okay, so since we've had to fight the pull station, as you just saw, I'm going to do this next one here from the drill button. And again, this is continuous chime. The panel's coding it to continuous. And I'm just going to use the drill button for the remainder of the test because this pull station is really frustrating me. Okay, so as you can hear, it does ding once per second there, so nothing terribly exciting, but it is still pleasant compared to the other tones here. So let's go ahead and move on to the next. Alright, our penultimate demonstration is going to be for whoop. The Commander 3 does have a whoop tone. It's not a slow whoop by any means. For this one, we're going to be putting it into march time. This is something that not a lot of people do with it, so it'll be interesting to see what it does. And you know, this is either going to go exceedingly well or it's going to explode in all of our faces. So here is march time whoop. Alright, and there was march time whoop, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the last one here in just a moment. Alright, and the final demonstration we're going to do here is going to be continuous whoop, since the previous one didn't really give you an accurate idea of the sound of the whoop. So I'll go ahead and put my faith in the pull station one last time, and if it doesn't work, well, that'll be just another fail for the video. So let's go ahead and do continuous whoop. Alright, so as you can hear, not a very conventional tone whatsoever, but it is a good one here, and I do like it. That's part of my favorite things about the Commander 3, is that it does have that crazy whoop sound. So for fire applications, it doesn't make much sense, but there it is. Alright, and because I'm too lazy to pull that big camera down and move the tripod out of the way, I'm just going to go ahead and shoot the end of the system test here on my phone. So hopefully this goes well. I don't use my phone much for filming alarms because the microphone doesn't seem to do too well with how loud they are, and the shotgun mic really lets me have better audio control, and hopefully better audio on the system tests. So, yeah, it looks like it's working. I think that fail earlier in the video was just the panel not initializing the zone for whatever reason. Makes no sense to me, but there it is. So reset the system here. And let's acknowledge. Alright, so that will wrap it up for this Fire Alarm Friday. Thank you for following along through all of the fails of this video and all the different camera angles. Hopefully this wasn't too boring, because unfortunately most of my system tests usually go as planned. And that doesn't really give you much in the way of interesting stuff. So when these kind of fails happen, I do like to share them, so that way you can see that these aren't necessarily as clear-cut and dry system tests as they may appear in certain videos. So yeah, that's all I have here. And in any case, that'll be the end of the video. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next system test. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.